No one talks about this phase. Not because it's rare, but because it's quiet. At the beginning, everything feels clear. You wake up early. You feel motivated. You believe change is finally happening. There is a young man sitting alone at a small wooden desk. Morning light enters through the window. His phone is face down. A notebook is open, clean, untouched. This is the phase people love to post about. The start. The excitement. The belief that discipline will solve everything. But this story isn't about that. This is about what happens after the excitement fades. When progress slows down, when results don't match the effort. The most dangerous phase isn't failure. It's the moment where nothing seems wrong, but nothing feels right either. And most people don't even realize they're standing inside it. Weeks pass. Nothing dramatic happens. The man still wakes up early. Still tries. Still shows up. But something changes. The excitement is gone. The results are invisible. The silence grows louder. He sits at the same desk, but now his posture is heavier. The notebook has pages filled with plans, crossed out lines, unfinished goals. This is the phase where doubt enters quietly. Not as fear, but as questions. Is this even working? Am I doing something wrong? Why does it feel harder now? There is no applause here. No motivation videos for this moment. Just repetition. And waiting. This is where most people mistake boredom for failure. They don't quit because they're weak. They quit because they feel lost. And being lost without a clear reason is terrifying. This is where the real battle begins. Not outside, but inside. The man looks fine to everyone else. But internally, he feels disconnected from the person he wanted to become. He remembers why he started. He remembers the promises he made to himself. But memory isn't enough anymore. He sits at the table one evening, lights dim, phone in his hand. Scrolling. Comparing. Watching others succeed faster. This is the most dangerous illusion. Believing you're falling behind when you're actually being tested. Growth doesn't announce itself. It hides. And in this phase, discipline feels pointless. Motivation feels fake. And quitting feels reasonable. This is the moment most people walk away. Not because they failed, but because they didn't recognize the phase they were in. One morning, something shifts. Not motivation. Not excitement. Understanding. The man realizes this phase was never meant to feel rewarding. It was meant to test commitment without feedback. This is where identity forms. When no one is watching. When results are delayed. He sits at the desk again. Same place. Same routine. But now, the silence feels different. Not empty. But solid. He understands that progress doesn't always look like progress. Sometimes it looks like patience. This phase isn't dangerous because it's hard. It's dangerous because it feels meaningless. And meaning is something you choose. Not something you wait for. There is a pause in this phase. Not rest. Not quitting. A pause. The man steps outside in the early evening. The sky is calm, almost colorless. No dramatic sunset. No signs. He walks slowly, hands in his pockets, breathing steady. For the first time in weeks, he isn't chasing a feeling. He understands something quietly powerful: progress doesn't ask for emotion. It asks for presence. Around him, life moves normally. Cars pass. Lights turn on in windows. People are busy becoming someone else. And for once, he doesn't compare. This pause isn't weakness. It's alignment. He realizes discipline isn't about forcing days to feel productive. It's about showing up even when days feel empty. This is the moment where pressure dissolves. And clarity takes its place. There is no big moment. No sudden motivation. No promise to change everything. Just a quiet decision. Later that night, the man sits at the desk again. Not to plan his future. Not to fix himself. Just to continue. He opens the notebook. Writes one simple line. Not a goal. Not a deadline. A reminder. He understands now, this phase doesn't reward effort immediately. It rewards endurance. Discipline here is invisible. Uncelebrated. And deeply misunderstood. But this is where habits stop being temporary. This is where identity begins to lock in. The man closes the notebook gently, turns off the light. And goes to sleep, calm. Not because life is easier. But because the confusion is gone. Most people never reach this point. Not because they failed. Not because they weren't capable. But because they misunderstood silence. They thought progress should feel louder. They expected proof. They waited for reassurance. But growth doesn't announce itself. It whispers. The man wakes up the next morning. No rush. No excitement. Just clarity. He doesn't feel unstoppable. He feels grounded. The dangerous phase didn't break him. It stripped him of illusions. This is where real change begins. Not when life becomes easier, but when effort no longer needs encouragement. If you're in this phase right now, listen carefully, nothing is wrong with you. You're not behind. You're not lost. You're becoming someone who doesn't quit when nobody is watching. And that is the phase that changes everything.